The biggest topic right now, Epic versus Apple. I'm not going to bore you with all the news about what happened with Fortnite and everything. We all know that Apple charges 30% of what revenue you make on your game, and Fortnite had enough of it. Um, the real deal here is with Epic. Epic owning the Unreal Engine. Um, Basically, it is the engine that is used for tons of games. It came out in 1998. They developed it with their game Unreal, which was a popular game in the 2000s. Something that's used by other companies, Gearbox, Square Enix, Riot Games. Also, it's Gears of War's Unreal Tournament series. It's a big deal. The whole deal here is that it powers some of the most powerful games, mainly PUBG. PUBG, the mobile version, is powered by it, just like Fortnite was. So that'd be a lot of revenue for a lot of people to lose across the board, even Apple. So basically, right now, those games are sitting on at a standstill. And on September 28th, that injunction that Epic was granted will have to go back to court. But basically, now any game up until this court date will be safe because Epic can take care of it. But if any of these games run into a bug, it's over with. Apple's development tools, they update everything, and they're getting ready for iOS 14, so it's kind of crazy. And Microsoft also is trying to get involved on Epic's end because basically it kind of feels like Apple's turning on developers that use that platform. Not so much everyone inside of Microsoft, mainly Kevin Gamel is the one that's made a draw about Apple could be potentially on their own killing off their gaming platform because, who's going to really develop another platform, to build games on, another game engine to just build for iOS or Mac. Especially when people have been developing these games with Unreal Engine, through COVID-19 and stuff like that. It's kind of a touchy situation there. And, it's going to get kind of hairy. So I would like some of y'all's feedback. What do y'all think you think's going to happen with Apple and Unreal and Epic in general? Now, another thing here that's kind of crazy is, companies like Disney and Lucasfilms, which is a subsidiary, they use these for Star Wars and visual sets, characters, and animation. With Apple putting up this fight like this, it could cause issues there. And Unreal Engine is also used by Audi, Porsche, Volkswagen when they design cars. Even the Weather Channel, when it's doing their, mixed reality segments, use this. And a lot of the functionalities inside of iOS are going to be lost without this. And it's just like, you want to think on Apple's part, do you really want to cause this much turmoil? Because if something legal goes into effect that causes this Unreal Engine to not be able to be used by other sources, it's going to cost a lot of revenue to Apple and across the board. It's kind of weird to think that one company such as Epic has so much power with its licensing agreements, with its Unreal Engine, but it's true. It does power a lot of stuff. So, on that note, it's kind of a billion-dollar company versus the million-dollar company, as it's been quoted so many times over and over by people. I don't see it that way. I actually see Epic, if they have the money to fight it, which Apple can definitely fight it, they could also, win a big thing over and open up a little bit more functionality in Apple. I think that's what the whole thing amounts down to, being able to make your own money while making money with Apple, not Apple making money off you while you're making money. I think that's a huge issue here, and I don't know. It's just with that engine power and so much stuff in our visual world. I really don't see a judge or anybody favoring too much with Apple on things. It may just be the end of Fortnite, but something will have to be worked out for Unreal Engine. Now on to the Fortnite portion of this deal. Okay, so August 27th, this is what happens. Apple will still have Fortnite on the system if you've already downloaded it. You still have it saved. The major difference is that the next season of Fortnite has Marvel themed stuff. So PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Android will have it. Interesting thing about this whole thing going on here is that Epic went above and beyond and skipped over the Google Store in the first place. It wasn't until recently, the app was on there. And I mean, you can still get this app from the other Android stores such as Samsung, Bose, and the actual Fortnite launcher. Outside of that, that's all that'll be missing for right now. And the other big thing is that Apple players will have to play against each other. And this timeline was already anticipated by Fortnite. And Fortnite did the parody of the 1984 commercial, and the in-game tournament was pretty intense this past Sunday. Basically, it's just one of these deals where we're going to have to just sit back and see how this plays out. I truly, in my opinion, feel like Fortnite will disappear from Apple products, and I think in the long run it'll hurt Apple more than it will hurt Epic, because, like I said, that Unreal Engine, once again, it's a topic that just keeps going on and on, simply because Unreal Engine powers the world, and all of the licensing that goes along with that. Big companies like Disney and stuff like that are going to speak up, because Apple was trying to be the next Amazon and is trying to be like a multimedia conglomerate. Without that Unreal Engine, it's going to be a tough cookie. Now, moving over to the Google side of this lawsuit, Google's is similar to the Apple deal about the monopoly control over the distribution of software to phones and the monopoly control over payment systems within the software. But in Google's case, Epic is specifically concerned about the Google Play Store's powerful role as a distributor of Android apps and the Play Store's requirement that host apps use bill store billing for all in-app purchases. Basically, Epic wants to discount it, make their own money, and not have to pay Google and them for something that they're providing. And I can understand that. In Google's corner, Google has turned into Apple, basically. At first, Android was open source. And the only thing with Epic and Android, Android actually does allow Epic to store in their own stuff. So basically, what would take forth there would be more or less one of those deals where Epic would have to just make their own app with their own app launcher and not use Google as a whole. More or less, not giving the 30% of the cut that they're giving to Apple, they would more or less give it to themselves, which makes sense. If I was out there on the corner and I was selling oranges, I don't want to give someone 30% of my cut just because my oranges are in a box that is made by them, formed by them, or anything out the way, following the confines of paying 30% to someone for nothing. Basically, the storefront I build, I'm paying them for the storefront that I build plus 30%. Nah, it shouldn't work that way. And so something to counteract everything that Epic is going up against is Epic is not doing anything against the console model, which is the same thing that basically is going on right now. Because Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft still take 30% off the top, but they didn't stop them from doing their discounted price with them. So I wonder, is it a deal where they're actually making more revenue off of the consoles, so Epic's turning the cheek to them? Or is it one of those deals where they're just like, we're not making enough money off Apple, or Apple's making more money than them off the transaction? It's kind of a toss-up. And that's something that, if you go look at the numbers, Sony, has done very well in profiting off of this DLC fee and all this other stuff. And its Game and Network stuff this last quarter was up 41%. And Microsoft seen something similar. Didn't get the numbers on Nintendo, but Nintendo is quoted as stating that half of all Nintendo Switch owners has Fortnite on there. So obviously they've got transactions and different things going on. So it kind of makes you wonder why Epic's not going after these other companies too, just to have an overall deal where the price is competitive from mobile to console to even PC, So Epic is being a little misleading with this whole lawsuit deal. The judge granted them a restraining order to where they can keep using the Unreal Engine over there on Apple's thing, so they can update things and do whatever they want. What the judge did not rule on, because they did breach a contract technically, was Fortnite. So that's causing a whole big deal there. It's kind of like they're kind of putting the sheep's wool over people's eyes. But Epic is kind of just trying to, they're playing everybody with how they're maneuvering things. They sent out an email stating that Apple users wouldn't be able to use the new version of Fortnite, which included a Marvel crossover, which is going to be really big. I've stepped into it just once last night. This took place on August 27th. This update did. And obviously it is a pretty big deal, so you almost wonder why Apple would want to lose out on that money, but, billion-dollar corporation will do what they want to do. And the final portion of events that happened is Apple officially removed Fortnite developer Epic's account developer profile from Apple, meaning that all Fortnite games and all other games made by Epic, including Infinity Blade, have been removed. So I guess now it's war. War between all three companies, and we will have to wait and see what happens next.